Finally. Okay. Set it to play.
isn't it doing my camera? Okay. Oh, come on. There always has to be some technical difficulty.
Of course.
Okay, let me try adding it through there, apparently.
I have the stream up on my phone, and it's weird because I can see you here, but I cannot see you on the stream.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out why. Um, because it. Huh. Why isn't it showing my camera? Um, I don't know. I do not understand why it isn't showing my camera. Oh, wait. There we Aha! I figured it out.
Yay!
It just had to make things super difficult for me just to do it. Okay. Oh, I got some notification on my stream, but I don't know what it was. Whee! Okay, so after some technical difficulties, um, so it's showing the stream, right? Because I got a message on my stream software that says stream is disconnected, attempting to reconnect.
Hopefully, I mean, my fiance just texted me to tell me that he can hear my fan. So I assume that they can still see and hear it.
Okay.
I just texted him to come turn it off. So he's here. Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who may not know who I am, which I'm assuming everybody that's here right now knows, I'm Matt, known as This Abstract Thought on social medias, and I have created my own TTRPG, Percent Chance of Failure, that I am super excited to play for the first time live. It has been a long time coming, and with the whole Wizards of the Coast OGL nonsense, it really pushed me into starting it. And I have been running it on the Orsak Narrative Universe Discord. and having an amazing time. Josh, of course, runs his own original TTRPG system, the ONU, through the same Discord. We have multiple other pro DMs, including the Bearded GM, who's running Monster of the Week, Jeanette, who's running Pathfinder, and the Pirate Tom, who's running D&D, as well as Josh's assistant Ari, who assists him in the ONU. And I'm currently running 16 one-on-one text games, and I'm having an absolute ball. One of the games ended today, and I was so sad the guy didn't continue. But he was fighting against a demon named Tu Madre, which is your mother in Spanish. So every time the demon talked to him, it's not nice to fight against Tu Madre. Oh man, I had so much fun with that. Um, so today we're doing one of my favorite stories from um, all of the games that I'm running. I've called it a Fae Secret, which now it might have slightly less to do with the Fae because
Yeah.
she chose the other side. Um, so it's
Wasn't
maybe I should.
exactly on purpose, but it happened.
Yep. Um, so maybe I should start calling it a celestial secret now. I don't know. We'll see. Um, so a bit of a recap with this story. It's funny because once again, I don't know that you intended it this way, but it kind of came that way. We started out with the character idea, and um, it kind of evolved into a Disney princess style character. Um, and it was weird the way the story went because you describing the character, I was like, well, to me, this is what it seems like, right? And we kind of just jumped in from there. So I don't. Do you want to give a little background or description of your character?
Yeah, so my character, her name is Leora Guinevere. Let's see if I can remember all the names. Leora Guinevere Inokara Wettengriff. Yes, that's all of them. I gave her a long name on purpose because she is a noblewoman, and she has like basically grown up her entire life on her family's estate, not really leaving a whole lot. She used to leave more when she was a child, but as she grew older, it was more of just like a stay here, do your duties kind of thing. And the interesting thing about her is that she actually is part celestial. We ended up finding out she is also part fae, and that has been very interesting this entire time. That was something I didn't even know.
Yeah, you were saying before how you purposefully made this character without the tragic backstory, and I gave it to you anyway. So,
Yep.
oh man, so for some reason my Discord is not keeping up with your camera, unfortunately. I don't know what's going on there. So it's just like loading and loading and loading on the Discord.
Here, let
Um,
me turn my camera off and see if maybe that can fix it.
there it
This
goes.
help?
Yeah, yes.
Hey. Okay, there we go.
Okay, so yeah, we introduced the character, and right away we established that she had had trouble doing the same kind of sorcery that her family was known for, and light magic was kind of the family shtick, for lack of a better word, and it was kind of a disappointment to the family about how she had issues controlling it. And that was something that she was working on, but she had the tendency for her magic to go wild, which hasn't happened yet. I'm waiting. It's gonna happen one of these times. You're gonna roll under a 20% when you do magic, and the magic's gonna go wild, and I can't wait.
It did happen a little bit that one time when she first met her fairy godmother and accidentally blinded Matthias for a little bit.
Oh, okay, yes, that's true. That is true. Uh,
Yes.
so yeah, as we introduce the character, she was asked by the family major domo to go see her mother in her mother's chambers. And when she arrived there, it turned out it wasn't her mother. It was her best friend, Matthias, who she kind of grew up along with. And it was actually a scary moment where it was a dark bedroom and his hand came out of nowhere and grabbed her hand and asked her to be quiet. And then during this whole thing, um, there started being a weird sound, a coldness to the air, and Matthias goes, "Oh no, she can't be here already." And Leora's like, "Who?" And he's like, "Your fairy godmother." So, unbeknownst to my player, I based the fairy godmother off of Grimm's fairy tales, Dresden Files, more of a archfey, scary winter court. Anybody familiar with the Dresden Files? I based her off the Leanne Sid, Harry Dresden's fairy godmother. Only she had never met her before. Um, so Matthias charges this beautiful, elegant, pale-skinned, white-haired woman. Kind of a scuffle ensues. Um, Leora tried to cast a light spell and ended up blinding both Matthias and the fairy godmother. And during the blinding light, Matthias was knocked to the ground. The fairy godmother starts trying to speak with Leora and actually charmed Leora so that Leora suddenly thought, oh, this is a person I can trust. I don't know what the big deal was and why I was so scared. And then Matthias comes out of nowhere, um, tackles the woman, grabs Leora, and jumps out the window. Yeah,
Wonderful time.
yeah,
For her not to be expecting any of that.
yeah. It was an interesting morning in the family estate. So on their way out the window, it turns out Matthias is celestial, and he transformed, growing his wings. Now he wasn't able to keep them aloft because you can't really carry a person and fly. Um, so they kind of semi crash landed, and that was the first time where you rolled critical success. So you ended up getting a new ability where you didn't have to make an agility roll to stay on your feet when you landed. Um, you turned into your radiant form, where you grow spectral wings and emit a light and show Leora's celestial side of things. And then there was the craziest chase scene ever. Man, I think it was like 4 or 5 days of us back and forth with
Yes.
this chase scene. Um,
It was awful.
it was just absolute insanity. They made it to this inn, and they thought they had gotten away, and then there was a knock on the door while Matthias was out, and Matthias's voice starts yelling through the door, "Let me in, let me in!" And you didn't open the door.
Because I'm smart.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, now Leora had been schooled by her mother during her childhood about the trickery of the Fae and knows that you have to invite them in. Um, so she was able to get into the inn because everybody's invited inside the inn, but into your private rooms, that's a different thing. So yeah, it turns out it was the Leanne and Sid once again. And then Matthias comes out of nowhere again because if it's a fantasy movie, that's how it
Bro.
has to happen, right? And there was some more chase scene through the inn. There was a salt line thrown down to try to slow her down. She actually, I mean, it went crazy. If I give all the details, we're going to be here for another 20, 30 minutes talking about it.
Yeah.
But the chase ended at the bay of the city of Vostos, right? Oh man, I got so many games going now. I can't remember the name of the city you're in.
That sounds right. I think so.
Yeah, I think it was Vostos. I try to use cities that I've
I'll go
used in
with it.
campaigns before, and that was one of them. So, yes, the city by the bay. If anybody wants to listen to some Journey, which we'll get to here in a minute, but mm, excuse me. So, they're at the bay. Um, they're trying to find a ship to jump onto. The Leon Sid is there, chasing them down. Now with these giant black like crow's wings. And a fight ensued where it turned out that Matthias, thinking ahead, had these cold iron nails that he had with him. And he attempts to attack her, and things go bad for him, and he gets hit by a blast of her magic. And he starts freezing in place. His body slows down. You start to see frost come up from his feet. And Leora grabs his sword and nail and stands in front of the Liliana and Sid,
My
just
girl.
not backing down at all. It was an amazing scene. A bunch of stuff happened, but in the end, Leora stabbed a iron nail into the woman, and she disappeared in a cloud of ash and soot. Um, since then, it's believed that the Leonin Cid has perished, but if anybody's read
I don't
lore,
know.
yeah, you can't kill a Fae outside of the Feywild, much like you can't kill a demon outside of the Nine Hells. So she is still there, but she has been taken out of the picture currently. Um, they uh, a passerby helped take Matthias, who was unconscious, unresponsive, to the light of Pelor, which is a hospital, basically, and he was overseen by these doctors known as the Lights, and they said he was in bad shape. He was not regaining consciousness. So Leora went to see a friend of Matthias, Gabriel, at the Easing the Badger Inn, which, if anybody's read Robert Jordan, yes, I stole the name of the inn from the Wheel of Time books. Deal with it. Uh, and uh, Gabriel, there was a lot of back and forth, and he told Leora to go to a park and think about things. At the park, Leora was confronted by Aurora, the princess of the summer court, of the Fae, the Sealy court. And Aurora, if I can say that name, um, told her that she would take her to meet her blood mother and explain things to her, but she had to come with her to the Feywild and remain there for 180 days. And Leora was like, fuck that. I mean, just,
No, she's like, Matthias is not okay, and I'm not coming with you. Because Matthias is literally the only thing that I have to count on right now.
Matthias is Bay. We're gonna start that hashtag Matthias is Bay. So Aurora offered 3 times, as is the way of the Fae, and the third time rejected. She allowed Leora to go about her business, where she returned to Gabriel at this hospital where Matthias was still unconscious. And Gabriel asked her a couple of questions, basically saying, what would she do for Matthias? Um, and unequivocally, Leora said anything, right? And so he said, "Well, I'm sorry then," and he transcended, he transformed into his archangel form, which if you're on the Discord, read that section. I'm so proud of it. It was so
It's
well
so
done.
good.
Um, so she sees this light emanate from him that should be blindingly bright, but instead it heals. It makes you feel better and serene. And he touched Matthias, and Matthias woke up. Um, since then, Matthias has talked about how in a couple of days it was going to be the Dawn Fathers. Oh, what did I call it? The Dawn Fathers.
Father Banquet.
Yeah, the Dawn Fathers banquet. Yes. So in a quick lore dump in my world, Pelor is the supreme being, the number one god, one of the first beings ever to be created, and he was originally a lover of Nyx, the darkness. So it was Pelor the light, Nyx the darkness. And then they had a child, and they had a lot of disagreements over the child that was begot from them, and there was a big war, and now Pelor has given the universe to Nyx, which is why the universe is full of darkness, and he is on the planet of Omnia, which is where all of my fantasy stories take place, and so Pelor, also known as the Dawn Father, the All Father, the Light, the Sun, the Brightness of Justice, he of many titles, and he is the supreme celestial being. So all angels, cherubs, divas, so on and so forth, serve Pelor the Light. Um, Gabriel showed himself to be the Archangel of Justice, the Hammer of the Light, um, and the Horn Sounder, which I don't think I put that in, but Gabriel has to have the horn, right? I mean, it's just it has to happen. If anybody has watched The Prophecy, um, with oh man, now I can't think of Christopher Walken. It is a great movie, and that's kind of who I based Gabriel off of. Um, a lot of other things happen. They stayed at the Easing the Badger Inn. They met Mary, who is Gabriel's daughter. Mary is also in love with Matthias, and it's kind of an interesting dynamic. But she's been pretty nice to Leora, despite the fact that she's kind of known for being evil to other women that Matthias has been around in the past. And Gabriel paid for Leora and Matthias to have clothing made specifically for this Dawnfather's banquet that's coming up. Um, and after an entire day of being fitted and measured and having all these clothing picked out, um, Matthias surprised Leora with a date to the Saffron ship, which is it's an actual ship, it's a literal ship, but it's also a dining establishment, a dancing place. It was pretty amazing. They had this really nice dinner, but during the dinner, drama had to happen because it was going too long without drama, and I'm an evil DM. So Titiana
Because
herself. Go ahead. You had something to say, please.
you're having a nice time, and you took it from me.
I can't be. I'm an evil TM. Okay, like
It's
so.
fine. Fine.
So Titiana showed up and said that she owed obligation to Leora and wanted to make recompense for that. And Leora again absolutely rejected the offer of the Fae and did not want to have anything to do with her. She actually was just gonna leave, and Matthias was like she's like the Fae royalty, right? You can't just
Yes.
you can't
Because
just
I was like, I
woo
feel like
them
maybe we
away.
should say, and she was like, Why? Why? Why do I have to? Fine. She
Where
got a little bit sassy. A little bit sassy.
Yeah, well, and during the sassiness, Titiana explained how much she reminded her of her mother, her blood mother, her Fey mother, who Titiana would not name and would not have named in her presence. Apparently, she is exiled from the Sealy court, um, and maybe has a bit of a rebellious streak, like her mortal daughter. Um, so
Maybe.
there was some more lore dump. We discovered that Leora's Titiana's Leora's great grandmother. Her grandmother was oh man, she's the god of the Fae in Dungeons and Dragons, and now I can't think of her name.
It's the
Um,
one that starts with a V.
yeah, man, I should have written this down. Uh, I have 16 games going. Okay, it's a lot to remember. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, she had a tryst with a member of the Unseelie court, the Winter court, and begot a daughter. And that daughter had a tryst with Uriel. Uriel is a rebel angel, not fallen, right? He hasn't turned to evil, but he's not the Morning Star, but he is rebelling against Pelor. He thinks that the vows and the rules put on angels need updated for a more modern world, and has worshippers across the land, and is exiled from the celestial plane and lives on the material plane itself. So she has a pretty cool lineage, I gotta say. I love the combination: Winter Court, Summer Court, Celestial, but not a regular Celestial. Rebellion Celestial. So uh, and then after this huge lore dump, they didn't seem to be feeling it very much anymore, right? The mood was shattered for the for the Tate, and they
Not a
go,
great dinner.
yeah, they had a wonderful dinner. That was quiet and contemplative and maybe a little awkward. But afterwards, they go to the above deck and realize that a dance floor had been cleared. And this is where the journey comes in because they were when the lights go down in the city. And I am a huge Journey fan. I actually went and saw them live last year around this time. Um, so there was a bard up there singing that very song, and they decided to dance, and they had a good time. And then Leora started getting sleepy, and Matthias said, "Come on, let's just go to bed." And she's like, "No, let's keep going." So then, being the cherub, the cheesy Matthias that he is, he went and specifically requested a song, which was "Can't Help Falling in Love with You," originally by Elvis Presley.
Such a dweeb. Such a dweeb.
He's a cherub. He's a baby angel.
He's a dweeb, is what he is.
He is. He is a dweeb. I told you, if you wanted the bad boy badass, you needed to go for the Fae, right? You picked the wrong side.
Damn.
Ah, so then they spent the night together, and we faded to black, and things may have happened. That's none of your damn business, and and now we come to in the morning of the day of the Dawnfather's banquet. So today is the summer solstice. Today is the longest daylight of the year. And there, my daughter was on stream for a second. Which, by the way, I have to give props to her. She's helped me a lot setting up my streaming stuff and the Discord. Um, There she is with the thumbs up. Bye. Um, so today is a day of celebration throughout the kingdoms of the height of Pelor's power. And also, if you're looking at it from a different light, it is the height of the Summer Court's power. When their power begins to wane and be passed on to the Winter Court. Um, so during all of the equinoxes and solstice, there is a mass celebration. And this is the Festival of Light. Um, so if anybody has seen Tangled, it might be kind of a familiar scene.
I'm
So
totally normal about this.
yeah, it's not like she specifically asked for this to be the, the way the celebration
Oh,
went or anything like that.
I didn't ask for that at all. I'm totally regularly normal about this. I'm not excited at all. Everything's fine.
Okay, so we come to in the morning of the Saffron ship. Oh wait, somebody just told me the video froze on stream. Is anybody still having problems? My streaming software is acting up.
See it? It's me. Let me fix that. I'll turn it off again.
There we go.
Here. See if
Um,
that works.
yeah, I actually contemplated unplugging my Wi-Fi router and just plugging directly in so that I'd have all the bandwidth, but then my children would want to come kill me without internet for that long. So uh, I need to get better internet access. It's unfortunate. Um, so anyway, one of the things that Matthias had spoke with Leora about previously is that they would be on duty today. Um, so Matthias, Leora, Gabriel, and Mary are all of the celestial ilk and will be, kind of required to be on watch. Um, Now, they're still going to be able to participate in all of the celebrations, but they will be at the palace for the end of the celebrations, which is where most of the coolest stuff happens anyway. And much to Leora's, original discomfort, but I think she's kind of been okay with it now. So, like I said, we will begin on the Saffron ship, um, inside the small little bedroom on the small little bed that they were able to get. Um, but it's a ship. There's not room for big beds and big bedrooms. Um, so I think we kind of come to with Leora, her hair, tasseled and all over the place, and Matthias gently waking her up. He is an early riser, as all Celestials are. I guess I don't know. Laura, what do you feel? Leora does she sleep in or
She
is she
hates mornings.
okay?
She's a rebel. She hates mornings. Her mother always tried to get her up in the morning, like early as all get out, to like go to her studies. She never had any of it. She was like, no, sleep.
So yeah, with Matthias gently waking her up, the sun is streaming in through the windows. The one window, the porthole, I guess. The ship is obviously docked again. It's got a slow, um, as it rides the waves, motion to it. And Matthias says, "The sun's up. It's the day."
Why can't you ever let me sleep in?
You know I would love to, but today of all days,
Of course. We have a long day ahead of us, don't we?
we have an exciting day ahead of us.
Love your optimism, darling.
I think we cut away since I'm assuming neither of them are clothed at the moment.
Oh, not. They had an interesting night. We'll leave it at that.
um, I think we come back with the two of them looking a little better. Their hair somewhat taken care of, their clothing back on, and on the upper deck of the Saffron ship, which the Saffron is it's all made out of red wood. It's polished to a high sheen, so it's catching the morning light. And It has all brass fittings that are all polished as well. So it has this red and yellow tinge to it, which, if anybody knows saffron and what it is, it starts red, but it dyes everything yellow. And It's a beautiful ship. It's pretty large. It is not meant to go out of the bay, right? It is not meant for sea travel. It stays within the bay and it just goes around in a big circle. And so we see other guests, other couples, all gathering and leaving the Saffron ship. Um, and we get a nice pan view of the city itself. Um, the city is largely made of white stone, um, and it is large. It's one of the largest cities in all of the kingdoms. Um, and we begin hearing church bells tolling nine. And it is the start of the day of the Dawnfather's banquet. Um, and I think Matthias is he's giddy as a schoolgirl. He is smiling and happy. He's almost like bouncing in his steps and very excited for the day. Um,
She finds it very endearing.
yeah, he is being his dweeby self because we have established that he is a total dweeb. Um,
Leave!
and he is leading you towards the Easing the Badger Inn, Gabriel's home, Gabriel and Mary. And you pass through the city streets, and everything is different. A lot of people have been up since 4 in the morning because you have to get all the decorations up before the dawn. So there's streamers and there's rows and rows and rows of Oriental style paper lanterns, with all kinds of different designs and ideographs and symbols. There are booths and vendors set up along the main streets. There is parades where they have these huge wagons that they have built, these big effigies to Pelor. And there is, I mean, it's just a festival atmosphere. There are bards and street performers on the corners, all of them singing songs about light and love and excitement and strength and power. There's jugglers and fire eaters and sword eaters, and I mean, it is just the whole city is run wild with celebration. So, is there anything that you would like to do on the way to the Easing the Badger Inn?
I mean, she's just taking in all the sights. She's just so excited for this because this is the first time that they're not like kind of sneaking around, and that she's going to be able to see the festival during the day. And so that's what she's most excited about, is not like being worried that someone her father knows is going to see her, being able to see the things that happen during the day, not having to just like wait and wait and wait until finally Matthias knocks on her window and she can go see things.
Yeah. One of the things that is a big popular thing on this day is there's yellow canaries, right? Little small Tweety birds. People have them in like these gilded cages all over the place. So there is this massive song, bird song that is just everywhere you go. Um, and at the sunset, along with the paper lanterns, they will let all of these birds free. And there will be this mass flock of yellow birds and the flying paper lanterns. Um, and they also let the paper lanterns loose in the bay. So the bay and the sky are both lit up. The idea behind the celebration is not only is he at his the height of his power, but to continue it, to add more light, to make the light last through the night. Um, and so as you guys,
Matthias does not take her out on a canoe, I am going to scream.
it definitely will happen. So the palace is actually sitting in a protected part of the bay. So the palace is right on the bay. With well, the grounds for it are adjacent to the bay. The palace itself is inside, so people can't just pull up on a pirate ship and start shooting cannons at it.
Right.
But the wall for the palace grounds comes right up to the bay, so that will totally be something that can happen. Um, and of course,
I'm normal about this.
there's inlets that are gated that come into the palace too. So there is a channel. What's the? It's not the right word for it, is it? You know that the barges would be on.
Yeah. Um.
Anyway, I think everybody gets the idea I'm going for, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, as you're traveling through the city, everything is chaos. Matthias actually stops at a street vendor, and he purchases coffee heavy with cream and sugar because he's not sweet enough yet. Um,
Babe!
and he gets some like honey buns. You know, they're a pastry with honey and sugar. And
Very familiar with honey buns. That's
uh,
all I ate growing up as a child.
so the two of you are strolling through. I guess what does Leora drink as a morning pick me up drink? Is there a specific?
She likes herbal teas.
Mhm.
She is also a dweeb. Like, don't worry.
Yeah, she was a rather sheltered child. That is definitely canon. Yeah, maybe a little socially awkward in a big thing like this, right? I know Matthias
100%.
definitely is. Um, yeah, you travel through, and he stops again, and he buys some white carnations for the two of you to go with your dress that you're gonna have because you have the gold and white dress, and he has a white and gold suit that he's gonna be wearing. Now, I'll get to that in a minute, but I want it to be very Oriental-esque, right? It's got the frog buttons and the it. Anyway, I tried searching forever to find the suit that I wanted, and I could not find a good picture.
Same. I couldn't find the dress that I wanted to give her either, and I'm so upset about it. But it's like, it's close enough, and it looks pretty, so it's okay.
This is where I need a good artist that will just. Uh, I keep thinking about taking my subscription to Midjourney back because Midjourney's super helpful with that. But I want to support artists. I don't have the money right now to just hand out to artists nonstop as much as I
Yeah.
wish I did. Okay, so as you're traveling through and you go to the Easing the Badger, and out front is Mary. She has a booth kind of set up that her and some of the staff from Easing the Badger are currently running. She is not wearing her evening dress yet, right? She's wearing something comfortable and light. Maybe kind of like a sundress. I think is what I picture her in. Mary has long, wavy brown hair. She's very pretty. She is a celestial woman, so she has her own sort of inner light that shines through. But she is also a very jealous woman, and she sees you two approaching, and she gets this look for a moment where she knows, right? She knows. She could tell from Matthias. She totally knows what happened, and she kind of gets a sad look for a moment, but then she brushes it off and is all smiles and waves and excited to see the two of you. Um, and so when I wrote them, I always want them to have kind of an Irish accent. Okay, they say lad and lass,
Right.
and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pull that off.
Go
uh,
for it. Just go full force.
so, uh, well, actually, so okay. What I would like to do for about 6 or 7 minutes here is we're gonna take a quick break. And we're about an hour in, and we're gonna do a 2-hour stream. So I would like to take like a 7 minute break. I'm gonna go have a smoke, and I'm gonna start practicing this this voice. And when I come back, we'll see how good we do. I am not a voice actor. I try. I can do certain voices pretty well. But I wasn't thinking when I designed this character to have sort of the Irish accent that that was the voice I was gonna try to use for her in a live game. So we'll see how that goes. Um, I actually Gabriel. I want to be able to pull off Gerard Butler from what's the girly movie that my partner loves? P.S. I Love You. Yeah. If anybody's ever seen that, it is so sad. It's such a sad movie. Um,
Also good.
yes, it is a very good movie. Don't get me wrong. I've seen it, I think, 3 times because my partner Debbie absolutely, absolutely loves that movie. And I'll watch romantic movies, but then I have to watch a horror movie afterwards to make up for it. So everybody hang tight. Give me 6 or 7 minutes here to have a smoke and start thinking about how I'm gonna do Mary's voice, and we'll see how good it is when we come back here. So I am gonna put the stream on pause for just a few minutes and be right back. Once I figure out how to do that.
This is why I just practice Leora's voice all the time. I'm just constantly talking to myself in her voice.
Yep. Well, Matthias is just me, right? So I'm not
That's
putting a
fair.
voice on for Matthias. He's gonna be me. All right. So I'm gonna put this on. Be right back, and I'm gonna take my headset off and go outside for a minute and see if I can do this. And I will be back.
What?
I have an interview tomorrow.
Yeah?
I'm on the second round.
Cool.
I somehow surpassed everybody on the first round. Having fun?
Yeah. I get 2 hours tomorrow too.
What?
2 hours tomorrow too.
You said tonight. What's from 7 to 8?
That's my one with Josh. That's the Delilah Poughkeepsie one.
Okay.
That one's not being streamed.
What?
That one's not being streamed. To play it? Jacob, are you watching?
Yeah.
Isn't it so fun?
He is a dweeb.
I know, such a dweeb.
Dice is a dweeb.
Such a dweeb.
Yeah.
It's great. What?
Going through his computer.
You can hear it? Oh no.
Okay, I am back. Just a second here. I'll take the stream off of pause. I actually think I'm gonna be able to do okay with this. We'll see.
This off.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna take the stream off of pause. And we're back. So I think I'm gonna be able to pull this off, but we'll see. Man, I checked my TikTok while I was out there because, of course, right? You have to. And I am amazed at how many people ask me, where can I join the Discord? Like, come on, okay? Everybody has their links in the same spot. Like, people, please. Um, I cannot believe. Here, actually, while I'm thinking of it, though, let me. I'll link the Discord in the chat.
Jacob, I know you're watching. You're not allowed to join, okay? You're the only person who's not allowed to join. It's my little brother.
Oh.
You're not allowed to read about the war crimes that I commit.
Oh, wait, what? Why is it asking me to join Twitch? Like, I'm already logged into Twitch. Why?
Do you just want me to, like, copy the link and post it? I can do that on my phone right now.
Okay. It just seems so weird that it would ask me to sign in when I'm literally streaming on Twitch as we speak.
Everyone on stream, I just posted it as Roboa. That is me. That is the link for wonderful, wonderful Discord that we are in.
Okay, one sec. It's asking me to verify things because things. So yeah. Let me just do this real quick, and then we will get back to fun. Okay, you already posted it anyway, but there. I posted it as well. So now,
Yeah, two links.
Nobody needs to ask.
Like mine, it's better. Same link, but mine's better.
Yeah, me and Josh were just talking the other night about how frustrating it is sometimes where people are like, "Oh, where do I find the Discord?" Like the same place you find everybody's links. Oh. All right. So, big festival, everything's going on. You run into Mary. She gets this look of sadness for a moment, but then as you approach, she puts a smile on, and she goes directly up to Matthias and goes, "Oh, hey, what were you two up to last night?" And Matthias blushes scarlet. Just, yeah, that's what I thought. And she kind of gives you a wink.
And Leora is also red, and she's like, I'm going to go change, and then I will come help you with this. And she scurries off.
Yep, and you hear Mary just laughing as you and Matthias both make a beeline past her. And you come into the Easing the Badger, and do you go around to the back and take your private entrance, or do you go through the front and go through the actual inn itself?
Sounds like something was interesting going through the inn, so we're gonna go through the inn.
Okay. Yeah, you come in and you see Gabriel. Now, Gabriel to me before was always blonde, big, broad-shouldered, but now I actually think that he is Gerard Butler. So for anybody watching, if you want to picture Gabriel, he is Gerard Butler. um,
It's
big,
fair.
broad-shouldered, strong, dark hair, beard, um, not Leonidas, Gerard Butler from P.S. I Love You, right? Um, and he sees the two of you enter, and he goes, "Oh, eh, happy to see you in the morning." Now I'm blushing. Uh,
This is amazing.
but yeah, he pretty much says the same thing. Looks like the two of you had a good time.
She doesn't even stop. She just goes.
So as you two are making a beeline past him, he grabs Matthias, and he whispers some words to Matthias, and lets him go. So the two of you aren't separated for very long. And the Easing the Badger is full. It is full to capacity. There are customers and staff members everywhere. Um, and everybody's eating breakfast and drinking. Um, so this is kind of a combination of, like the 4th of July and St. Patrick's Day and, every big crazy holiday that you can think of all at one time. So the revelry has already begun this morning, and the staff members are obviously, if you've ever been in a restaurant where they're at their peak and everybody's already drunk and it's mid morning and they're having a good time, but they know they're gonna make good money. But I think some of them might be a little begrudging because they aren't being able to participate. Um, so to get to your room, you have to go by the great room, which is where all of the revelry and craziness is going on, and under some stairs. And yours is a private entrance, so there's a locked door to access the hallway, and then there's a locked door. This is also the same hallway where Mary and Gabriel have their rooms for the inn. Um, and so you go into your room. It's just as you left it, except there is a very, very pretty gold dress laid out on the bed.
Okay.
And there is also a very nice pressed suit for Matthias, also laid out on the bed. And then there is a plainer but still in the same colors dress. So the idea is that you wear the original outfit until the evening, and then would come back in and change into the fancier evening gown afterwards. Um, that way you don't ruin your nice, beautiful new dress by wearing it during all the revelry and craziness at the beginning.
And so she walks in and she sees them on the bed and she gasps and she like picks it up and is like looking at them and she's like, "This is going to be so lovely! Oh my goodness, I'm so excited!" And she like looks over at Matthias and she's like, "Going to be beautiful! I'm so excited! Mary's going to be also wearing a dress and she told me it looks absolutely gorgeous. Can't believe we're celebrating."
Yeah, and I think Matthias is kind of speechless at the moment, right? He is overwhelmed. There's so much going on, and it's a lot that he's been wanting to be able to do with you for a long time, right? But it's only during this recent journey that he has professed his feelings for you, and you two have started to be able to do these things. Um, but after a moment, he kind of composes himself, and he's like, "I'm sure it's going to be gorgeous, and I cannot wait. And he grabs your hands and he shares in your excitement, but he is like I said, I think he's still a little like in awe of the situation, right? He is amazed that all of this is going on.
She just like she gives him a little kiss on the cheek and she's like, "All right, now I'm going to go change and then I'm going to go help Mary. I'm sure she has plenty of things to do today." And she goes ahead, changes, and goes off to find Mary.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So Matthias, he doesn't bother to go anywhere to get changed. He just changes right there in the main room. And he too has a simpler outfit, but in the same colors. They're all white and gold. Um, and once he gets ready, he goes out and begins assisting Gabriel with running the inn because that's kind of what his job has been outside of protecting and being your friend um, during his years here. Now, as I explained before, he is a cherub. He's a angel in training, essentially, um, and his mentor is Gabriel. Um, so yeah, we go through a quick montage, if you will, of
Real
different
quick, I did
moments.
want to add one thing.
Yeah.
Is that when they like get changed and they go out to the main room, he stops with Gabriel. She stops at the doorway, kind of looks back at him. You can see that she's a little bit nervous because like she's going to be going outside, and she still isn't fully okay with letting him out of her sight.
Hmm.
She takes a deep breath and then she goes out to help Mary.
Okay. One of the things you do notice is that he does have the sword strapped back onto his belt. He is walking around armed um, on this day. Uh, and you notice Gabriel as well has a sword strapped onto him. Um, so yeah, you go out and Mary is Mary. She has a ton of things going on. She's kind of bossing around several of the staff members. She's trying to shoo people into the inn or out of the inn. Keep the aisleways clear so that people can go through. And she's kind of in her element. Like you get the idea that this is what Mary is doing most of her life, right? She's training to run the inn. She is training to be sort of the house hostess. I almost said mistress, and then I was like, no, that has a different connotation altogether. Uh, but yeah, she is, just bustling around, and everything's crazy. And she's like, "Oh, Leora, you wouldn't believe. It's so hard to get good help these days." And
I'm sure it is. Where can I lend a hand?
yeah, so she starts having you help with taking care of customers and changing like they have these big coffers of like coffee and tea and different things and um, you know organizing getting those changed out and helping the last minute decorations that she hasn't had a chance to get up yet, so hanging paper lanterns and streamers and that kind of stuff. And it is just this mass bustle of activity. Um, as I said before, there's a bar nearby, and they are performing. There's jugglers and fire eaters and sword eaters, and it's just this crazy, crazy, crazy activity going all around, nonstop, all the time. Um, and it's like you said. I think. Well, I guess this is up to you. You said Leora, she's never had the opportunity to do this full celebration. So how does she feel with the sheer amount of things going on at once?
I mean, clearly she is overwhelmed. She She's used to parts of the celebration, but most of the time, like the only interactions that she has had has been after sundown, um, after like her family has retired to their rooms and Matthias has come and gotten her, and they can sneak off of the estate to go celebrate and everything. And so she's just like she's in awe of everything happening and a little bit overwhelmed because this isn't her normal life. But she's also very focused right now on trying to help Mary and make Mary like her. And so she's like, I have to do everything just right. This lantern is 2 millimeters off, and it cannot be.
Okay, well, why don't you give me a charm roll first?
That is 57.
Okay, yeah. Mary is definitely like surprised. Like I don't think she expected you to be out here helping, in the brunt of everything, right? So she is very surprised and happy to have someone to kind of share the workload with her, even though you don't know as much about what's going on, right? So I think sometimes you're kind of
Does
fumbling and
nothing.
messing, and she's kind of like, "Oh, just get here," and she jumps in and kind of takes care of it. It was like, "Oh, it'll be fine. Just leave it."
She's
and
like, but no, no, it's not even with the rest of them.
so here, I am gonna pull up your character sheet, and take a look here. All right, so after your charm roll, give me a wisdom roll, and we'll see how helpful you actually are.
That is a 78.
Oh man. So I guess is Leora sort of a crafty to begin with, you think? Like, is that one of the ways she spent her time was with kind of arts and crafts and helping the kitchen staff and that kind of stuff? Or
Her mother was raising her like not only to be a good sorcerer but also to be able to run a house and be a noblewoman, and so she knows how to cook and clean and sew and knit and like do all of those very like ladylike things. So like it is not out of her wheelhouse.
okay, yeah. Um, man, your camera keeps freezing up, and normally when this happens, I can fix it, but right now it's just like, no,
Let me just try it again.
we're, we're not gonna let you fix it. There it goes. Okay. Uh, So yeah, I think Mary's even more surprised now, right? Because despite your fussiness, right, to make sure everything's perfect, you actually do a really good job. You were very helpful to her, and I think it kind of seems like she wanted a reason to like kind of snap at you, right? And now she's taken aback. She doesn't know how to deal with this situation now.
I'm nice. I'm helpful. Why?
So yeah, I think Mary, like if we were looking at like a faction table, right, to how much the faction likes or dislikes a different person, she went from sort of indifferent towards friendly, right? Like she's actually genuinely starting to like you against her own will. At this point, because you were just so damn charming and helpful. Damn it. um, so that is the morning, okay. And around noon, around lunchtime, everything kind of comes to a halt. It is midday, and pretty much all of the activities stop for a couple of hours to let everyone eat, change into their formal wear. So the streets, while they're still busy, it's not like it was during the morning. It's not the crazy hustle and bustle. Um, everything kind of slows down. But the inn, of course, is still packed. It's packed to the brim. There is standing room only as everyone comes in to try to get a meal. And like I said, it's kind of part of the festival activities where from 11 to 1 everything just kind of comes to a stop, and everybody goes and eats and begins getting ready for the true festival that happens in the early afternoon to the late evening. Um, so I think Gabriel comes and gets you and Mary, and he's like, "Don't worry, okay? The other ones can handle it for a little bit. Come inside, take a moment." And
Leora like just fixes one more ribbon that's out of place and then goes inside.
yeah, and you see him. Oh, goodness. And I think he physically grabs Mary because she's still like, "Well, no, there's still customers, Dad. We got things." And he's, "You are coming with me." And he pulls her into the inn. And he actually takes the two of you through the throng of customers and the craziness, and he grabs Matthias along the way, and you all go into the private hallway where their living quarters are, and he has a nice little table set up in his room with 4 chairs and a meal already sitting there. Um, so it is tradition on this day to for the midday meal to not take a life. Okay, so because it's a celebration of life, so everything here is fruits and vegetables. Um, so it's these massive salads with every kind of vegetable you can imagine thrown into it, and then some like candied fruit dishes. There's imported fruits, so there's oranges, and he actually took the time to take the oranges, peel them, open them up so that it looks like a flower sitting on the dishes, and he kind of smiles at Mary with that one because that's one of her signature things. She likes to make food beautiful when it's presented, and it drives him nuts. But he's up for helping her out with that kind of thing. And he's like, "I wanted us all to have a moment where." Oh man, now I'm going away from Irish and into. I'm trying, okay. I'm trying.
You're doing great.
uh, I wanted us all to be able to have a moment where we could sit and enjoy. So calm down, okay? and
She goes, Gabriel, this is lovely. You did such a wonderful job. And she like gives him a little kiss on the cheek. She sits down.
yeah, so now he blushes. We're just having a day where everybody's gonna blush. He says, "I thank you, lass," and you all sit down. And this is the first time you've ever been in his room. So you look around, and it is a trophy case essentially. He has all of these different, like he has this giant golden sword. It is made out of fucking gold, with a red ruby in its pommel, and it's on this massive display case. He has several what looks like demon horns that are made into various things, strewn all about the room decoratively. He has vestments that are hanging up that have the symbol of Pelor, which is just the golden sun. He has there's actually like a chalice with water in it, that if you had to guess, it is blessed holy water. And he has like vials and tinctures in this little case. He has some very high shelf liqueur that is at hand, and he actually pours himself a dollop of what you're assuming is brandy. Um, and his room, it's very Spartan, but it's also decorated. So you would think that maybe Mary had a hand in decorating his room, from looking around it. Um, and you all sit down and enjoy a nice, quiet meal. Um, and I think the kind of the anticipation is like really building now, right? Because this is when the true festival starts, when everything's gonna be absolute mayhem out on the streets, with this celebration of light and life. And Matthias is very quiet and reserved during this meal, but Mary is nonstop. Oh, could you believe that juggler? And 10 balls at once. That's just, it's insane. And what was with that bard and the song that he picked? You don't sing that on Pelor's day. And she just goes on and on and on. Um,
Leora is just like so happy right now, and she's just like also like talking to Mary, and she's like, "Well, I thought that the song was absolutely lovely, and the jugglers they were quite amazing." And she's just like basically like, "Oh, everything's pretty and wonderful and great."
yep, and thus we see the difference between Leora and Mary, right? Leora, more of an optimist, and Mary, much more of a pessimist. And yeah, I think Gabriel and Matthias both are just, first of all, they're wolfing down the food like they haven't eaten in days, um, and and then they are just kind of quiet and contemplative throughout the meal, interjecting if asked directly, but otherwise remaining quiet. Um, and after the meal's over, um, Gabriel actually leads you all in a quiet prayer. Um, but he is celestial, so of course he does, right? Um, and I should have written something out for this, but basically it's just, praise Pelor, let the light shine down on us all and give us the enjoyment, and present us with not what we want, but what we need, right? Um, and then he thanks Pelor for the blessings that he's been given and for the people that he gets to spend this time with.
Oh.
Uh, and so after that's finished, and you all have this like kind of quiet moment of silence, and then he's like, "All right, let's party." And he he insists on pouring you all a dollop of his very high end brandy. Um,
Oh no.
and he pauses like he's expecting someone else to make a toast. So I guess it's up to you if Leora would chime in and say something.
She picks up on that, and she looks directly at Mary and she says, "To good friends,"
Yeah,
and then goes to take a drink. But the thing is, she is a noble woman. She doesn't drink much. The most that she has had is wine, and so she does it. And she's like,
so yeah, Gabriel is like, "Ah, it's good burn."
"It is one way to put it, my lord." Just
Yep.
not expecting that.
Yep. Well, the way he, they're Irish, right? You have to have drinking with celebration. Now, of course, they're not true Irish, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend or generalize to anyone. They are my version of fantasy Irish, based off my American silly crap that we deal with here, and appropriating other people's cultures. Um, but yeah, so after that, it's you and Matthias head to your rooms to change into your more formal wear. Um, and Mary actually stops you on the way out and says, "Oh yeah, if you're gonna need help with the dress, I'll be along shortly." Um, because fantasy dresses, right? They always have the buttons that you can't reach in the very back. Yep, not made for convenience, definitely. Um,
Oh, that would be absolutely lovely, please. No, Matthias can't be of any help at all.
yeah, and I think Matthias kind of blushes again, and he is um, around you lately. He is very fumble fingers, very awkward, very because he's trying to be impressive, right? He's trying, but he is just constantly dropping things and bumping into things, and um,
In a dweeb!
yes, he is a total dweeb. Um, so yeah, you have a private moment with Matthias, and he is giddy with excitement and ready to really show you what this festival is all about. And he says, you know, we're gonna have to go to the palace now, and uh, I don't know that we should publicly display what. And he's all awkward and blushing and stuff again. You know,
Kind of looks up at him and she's like, I mean, I wouldn't dream of it in front of Mary anyway.
says I'm so glad that you understand. And but he's like, but right now, and he grabs you and pulls you in and kisses you
Oh.
for a good 10-second Frencher, we're gonna say, right? Like he's so excited, and then he blushes really deep scarlet, and you kind of imagine that he's thinking of some of the things that happened the night before. But he is very much excited, and he's he's having a great time. Um, so the two of you get ready. Mary comes and assists you with your gown and your hair and makeup if that's what you want to do. You have that girl moment, that I never have
Does
been
she
part
come
of.
in her dress?
Yes. Um,
She comes in and Leora like me is like, oh my goodness, that's beautiful. You were right, it's absolutely amazing.
so yeah, her dress is green and gold. And it's very similar in style to yours. Only hers had a lot more time to get ready. Whereas you should have had a dress that would have been getting ready for this to have the celebration that you guys would have at your estate, right? You would still wear a dress. There would be guests. But so hers has a lot more like embroidery than yours does and lace. Yours is a little simpler, but still very elegant and beautiful. Um, but yeah, she's very excited, and she does that thing where they grab their skirt and kind of like swish it back and forth, and and she's very happy to share this moment with another female that'll actually appreciate it, right? Like a lyric that I absolutely love is the girls all dress up for each other, right? Because that's really who it's for.
Gosh. Leora's gonna make this awkward real quick. When Mary walks in and she's like, oh, it's beautiful. She turns to Matthias and is like, doesn't she look lovely?
So yeah, I think Matthias, he was
She's
actually
not thinking.
he was actually in the middle of sipping from a glass of wine, and he and has that moment where he doesn't know how to respond, right? Like, he's the guy that suddenly is supposed to compliment, like, not his ex, but his close friend who wants a relationship that he could never give, and he's like, God, yes, yes, of course, it's beautiful. And then he drinks some more wine. And he's like, I think Gabriel is gonna need some help, and he excuses himself from out of the
He sees
room.
that like moment of concern like on her face as he leaves.
Yeah, yeah, and he's like, I'll be back. It's not going to be. I'll be back. And he goes out. Um, yeah, there was that PTSD kind of moment, right, where like, no, the last time you left, everything went crazy. uh, so yeah, you and Mary get ready, and you have some polite but maybe a little awkward conversation, right, where she doesn't know entirely what to say, um, but she keeps talking anyway, right? That's just her. She is a chatterbox. She's nonstop. Um, you just wait, and the palace bars so much better than these street corner. And Da says that this time we're going to be able to actually play some of the games, and she goes on and on and on, with saying very little but saying a lot all at the same time. Or I said that backwards. Saying a lot but meaning very little, um, all at the same time. And when you two walk out, you see Matthias, completely in his suit for the first time. And like I said, it's a very like Oriental style, with this real tight coat that has this like flared tails at the bottom, with the frog buttons that are gold. And it's got gold embroidery on it, with the Pelor symbol, the symbol of the sun. Um, and it's very ostentatious. It's not the suit that I would wear, I'll tell you that, but it looks nice. He looks very handsome in it.
Um, she is wearing her family's like crest pin on her dress.
Okay, okay. Um, yeah, I guess. What do you think her family crest would be?
Good question.
I'm assuming it would be something with light, because that's what they're known for.
Yeah. I feel like it would probably like be kind of centered around the sun still.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I feel like that is like very symbolic of her family and their magical nature and everything. And I also think that they worshipped Pelor to a certain extent, maybe not like wholeheartedly as like the lights did, but it was still like kind of a part of their like magical practice and everything. So like she's aware of Pelor and the practices and the worship of him, but not like as much as the lights.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe it's like a stylized sun with like a beam of light coming off of it, like the sun's
Yeah.
rays. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Okay, so the four of you, which Gabriel's suit matches, in color and style with Mary's. Um, she is just now of age. Um, so she's well, I guess I'm sorry. How old is Leora? I know we've discussed this, I think, but
Um, she's like in her early 20s, like between 21, 23.
okay. So yeah, Mary has pretty much just turned 18. Um, she's just come of age. Um, so and Gabriel actually presents you with something that you didn't expect. So I guess, does your dress, does it come with like a clutch or a purse? Do you have some kind of small bag with you?
Probably not.
Okay. Okay, so he presents you with a dagger, um, and it has a thing to be able to strap it either to your leg or inside of your arm, um, so that way you will be able to be armed while you are with them today. Um, the dagger is it's platinum, so it's bright and shiny and polished, and it has gold on the hilt, but most of the handle is made out of pearl, and then it has a yellow um, sapphire at in the pommel at the very end. Um, it's more like a stiletto. It's small and it's tapered to a very fine point. Um, and he says, "Now, I pray we don't need this, lass, but just in case." And he asks you to make sure to
She
carry it with you.
like takes it and she looks it over and she's like, "Didn't Matthias say that we would be running possibly into some sort of fey? Because this is absolutely no help against them."
He says, the Fae attacking is not what we're worried about today, lass. There's other forces. Uh, the Fae are having their own celebrations.
Other forces such as
He kind of looks around conspiratorially and leans into you. Demons.
lovely, as if there wasn't enough to complicate things, we are now dealing with demons. Archfey, archangels, and demons.
When you pick a side in supernatural forces, you also make a lot of enemies. Says now, this festival has gone off without a hitch a decade now, but we have to be prepared.
I suppose so.
So that dagger is blessed, and it is magical. So
Yes.
it would still
Add that to
physically hurt
inventory.
a Fae, but it's not cold iron. It's not going to stop them from being able to use their magic.
Hmm. I'm just adding this to my inventory right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the four of you, like I said, Gabriel is dressed pretty much to match Mary. His suit is it's white like Matthias's, and it's very similar style, but it has green and gold for the trimmings and embroidery. And then he has a cape as well. That's gold on the inside and white on the outside with the sun of Pelor. Um, and it billows dramatically as he walks.
You know, they still haven't fixed Leora's hair. It's still black.
Oh no! Oh man. Okay. Wait. We are retconning some of that then. One of the things that happened during you getting ready is they scrubbed the crap out of your hair in an attempt to get as much of the black out as possible. So I think what ends up happening is your hair, while it's not its natural red, it is like a reddish brown at this point. You have like it's still like I said, you're not gonna be able to get all of the blackout like that was, but you managed to get it to a shining brownish red rather than your natural color, but it's not black. Um, because yeah, you cannot be, especially if you're wearing your family crest. Like if you showed up there with your hair being dyed black, there would be questions, right, at the palace.
Oh my gosh, people are gonna recognize her.
Yes, yes. There's going to be noble
Whack.
families there that will know who you are. And then there's going to be a lot of
People.
questions about what happened as
Yeah,
well.
I was gonna say people are gonna recognize her and they're gonna have a crap ton of questions because the last anyone heard of any of the family was after like the estate got destroyed.
Yeah, collapsed into the sea.
Oh,
Well, and there is a good chance that if your father is somewhere around, he would be at the palace, because he won't be able to host at his estate like he normally would. Um, so there's a chance you'll run into your father, if he's around. Um,
I
yep, and here we thought it was going to
hasn't
be a
thought of
nice,
this.
quiet festival. Oh, I thought of it.
She hasn't thought of this.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, everything's gonna be fine. Yay!
Yep, well, you even specifically said, so it's canon, that you have spent time at the palace, with your parents. So,
Yes.
you will know noble families there, and there's probably going to be people there that might have normally been at your family's estate for the celebration, and now cannot because your family estate was half destroyed, um, during your run-in with your fairy godmother. Uh, so yeah.
Drama! Hell yeah.
So you arrive at the palace. You walk there, but you guys take your sweet time. It's not super far from the Easing the Badger, but it's not super close either. Um, and you get to see the absolute chaos of this festival. A lot of people have been drinking since morning. So it is pure revelry, right? Everybody is, exchanging kisses and small gifts and seeing these performers of all different kinds, feeding the birds, the canaries that are everywhere, exchanging flowers, and there's a lot of girls going around with, like different white and yellow flowers, that are twined throughout their hair. You make crowns out of flowers that you're given, and craziness just ensuing all over the place. You have your white carnation that Matthias bought on the way. I don't know where you want that to be. It could be in your hair. It could be on your dress. It could be, you know, around your arm. However you
She'll
want to do
pin it to her dress with the her pin of her family crest.
it. Okay. Okay. Um, and it is absolute chaos and bedlam. Um, and so one of the things that's a big thing at the festival is exchanging kisses. Okay, so it's a big thing. So you get approached by strangers multiple times who, are coming up to kiss your cheeks. It's just kind of a thing. And you and Mary are, kind of having to fight guys off with a stick, occasionally. um, but Matthias is having the same thing. Now, Gabriel, almost no one approaches Gabriel. He is, known to be a celestial, right? He is, known throughout the city of his station, and that's why he's wearing the cape with the sign of Pelor on it. He has the sign of Pelor on his suit. Um, so the only people that approach him are very high-standing nobles, of one kind or another, or people who are involved in the clergy and the church. So while you are having to, fight boys off with a stick, he is exchanging kisses with, church members, so different priests and functionaries and bishops and, nobles, and both genders are approaching him, whereas, you're only having to deal with the boys and Matthias the girls. Um, and So I actually think that this is going to be a good moment for us to kind of pause, but for today, and we're going to stream again tomorrow with continuing this story. But I am going to describe the castle as you approach. So, like I said, the entire city is largely made of this white stone. Um, if you follow Critical Role at all, it's the
A little bit.
residuum, right? It's white stone. Only it's in my kingdom now, Matt Mercer. uh, and the palace is no different. It is this gorgeous white stone. There's multiple towers and outbuildings. There is this massive wall that surrounds the palace grounds. But right now, the gates are open. The gates are made out of brass, but it's polished and shined to look like gold. But gold's not a very good thing to make a gate out of because it's way too malleable. um,
Right.
and the gates are open. There are palace guard in their finery, which is all whites and golds. Um, and there is this huge procession coming in and out of the castle with all of the nobles in their, ostentatious finery. And at the gate, they are handing out masks. Um, Masks are of all different kinds. There's foxes and wolves and tigers but all of them are white with splashes of color to suggest whatever the mask is. And during the ball, as the sun begins to set, people will don these masks and kind of everybody knows who you are really, but it just adds to the flavor of the festival, right? It lets people feel like they are outside of themselves. Um, and the palace grounds is this massive topiary garden. One of the bushes is actually this big sun with rays coming off of it. On the other side, there's this massive dragon, and there are multiple statues of depictions of Pelor, who is your standard angel. Big white robe, massive wings outstretched, a halo above them. A lot of the halos are made of brass, but again polished to look like gold. So that way people aren't breaking into the palace gardens just to steal the halos off of these statues. But they're all white stone. But then they have real swords, these giant ceremonial swords that the statues are holding. Um, and you get to see the palace grounds in just absolute chaos. This is where all of the main bards and performers, the most famous in the land, they're all gathered and kind of having friendly competitions with one another. Up on the walls themselves, there are all of these acrobatic performers doing these insane feats where they're jumping and flipping and craziness up on these battlements and ledges. And there are paper lanterns everywhere, everywhere. They are strung like from wall to wall, with all of these different symbols and ideology and hieroglyphs and arcane sigils, um, everywhere. And you can only imagine as the sun sets, it'll almost be as bright as the day because of the sheer amount that they have strung everywhere. Um, and so I guess what does Leora look like in this moment before we cut away? Um,
I mean, she's just in complete awe. She has this like grin plastered to her face, like it sparkles in her eyes. She's so incredibly happy. Quick question though: does she like recognize any of the nobles walking in?
I think you see a few that you know in passing, but nobody that you're like close with yet.
Yeah, so no one that I'm gonna see and be like, "Oh no." Okay.
Yep.
She's still walking in, not thinking about that, being like, everything's great and fine.
So yep, I think we
Oh
we get a
goodness.
moment with Leora, her face, just alight with excitement, and it kind of pans over to Matthias, and he is in a very similar vein, just this big smile. But then it pans to Gabriel, and he has a much more serious look. He has his hand on his sword, and the wind kind of picks up, and his cape kind of blows out. And I think that's where we're gonna cut away for today's stream and story. Uh,
Ah, okay. Tomorrow, I'm so excited.
yep. So, everyone, we are going to do this exact same thing again tomorrow at the same time, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time to 2 p.m. If anybody is watching and everybody watching, please come follow me on my social medias. I am This Abstract Thought everywhere you go: TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. Um, I need to make a Twitter. I don't have a Twitter yet. Um, I guess TTRPG is a big thing on Twitter as well, and I need to get on there. Oh, Instagram as well. This abstract thought. Um, and if you haven't joined the Discord, other than her younger brother, I guess you're not allowed to. Everybody else, please come join the Discord. We are having so much fun. And if you want to get in a game like what I have going here, please contact me. When you join the Discord in the welcome, just say, hey, or at me and set up a game. This abstract thought there as well. And I will be more than happy to, at the very least, run a 2 week trial with you. And once you get hooked, just like she did here, then you join me
So good.
in keeping it going. Um, I am especially interested in writers, right? I'm trying to get into author talk and book talk on TikTok and get people to join because that is what is making these games so fun, right? It's not just me telling the story, it is you telling the story. Leora is, she's what drives the story. Like, there's things that happen, but Leora and her amazing role play that we've had go through all this is a large part of what drives the story. I love her stubborn streak and her I'm gonna do this whether it's a good idea or not, and her fierce and loyal protectiveness of Matthias, which is funny because he's supposed to be her guardian and protector.
Right. And she's like, that's my boy. I'm protecting him.
Yeah, I'm kind of reminded of Not from Critical Role in the scene where she tells the party that, it's like a mother and child, but I am the mother. That is my
Yeah.
boy. uh, so yeah, I've loved this
I mean, like,
game.
as a writer, like, this is just one of my absolute favorite things to do because, like, it is truly like getting to write a story with someone, and you are a fantastic writer. Like, I absolutely love it. It's amazing. Like, highly recommend it. If you are not on the Discord, go to the Discord, please. Wonderful there. Any of the game masters, especially Abstract Thought, though, like, it's great. I love it.
Yeah, thank you very much. That is high praise. And I need to get you in a group game though. I want you and Deeker and Kyra to be in a group game together. The three of you together is going to be absolutely insane. Um,
Yes, it's gonna be awesome.
so yeah, if you do come and check the Discord, even if you don't want to join a game, if maybe you just want to read it and check it out, I highly recommend A Face Secret, The Valiant Payoff, and Behind the Scenes are my three absolute favorite. Now, don't get me wrong, The Guardian Awakens with Dungeon Maestro is amazing. He's playing an Oriental dragon that is trying to guard his homeland, and it's really, really good. Real Snake Oil Cells is also a lot of fun with Beardic inspiration from TikTok. Um, Shades of Grey has been pretty interesting. They're two gray Jedi with Darth Revan's holocron, and it's really starting to get going. So please just come check them out. Just join the Discord, say you want to be able to see Abstract Thought Games, and we will get you set up, and it will be a blast. Um, Behind the scenes, I'm
It's
super.
awesome. It's worth it.
Yep,
Completely worth your time. I'm telling you.
yep. Behind the scenes, I recently introduced my version of the Cheshire Cat, and it's one of my favorite moments I've had in these games so far. Other than the Leanne and Sid chasing Leora all through the city, because that was amazing. Um,
That's awesome.
so please come check it out. Uh, like, comment, and share my TikToks. That helps so much. I cannot tell you how much it helps. And I hope to see you all tomorrow, and we'll continue this story. And with that, I am going to end the stream. Bye.